It's Saturday 29th of May. A little bit late down here today. I got distracted by a garden centre. Loads of stuff to do down here. In no particular order. Well, as you can probably see, the weather is absolutely incredible. It's gone from miserable to amazing. I brought the mower, so I'm going to give the grass a cut at the top and get as far down the paths as I can before the battery runs out. That's probably the first job. I bought a soil miller, tilther, don't know, it's called one of them, to break up large clods to give me a finer tilth. Probably called a tilther then. But that's this thing here. So, look, brand new. Probably won't look like that later, but I will wash it once I've used it. Anyway, that attaches to the end of that haft that I've already got. So it's got an interchangeable head. I'm gonna use that to break down that bed where those leeks are going in. So the leeks are going in today. I've had a bit of a look at leeks, and I think I need to be using. I've got a dibber. I've got a sharpened stick where I can just poke holes, drop the leeks in, water them in, but don't fill up around them. That seems to be the consensus where I've seen people planting them. So yeah, we'll try and get those in today. The sunflowers at the top end, bizarrely, it's either both of them have come up together or both of them have been eaten. So we'll have a look in a minute, but I'm going to lift them, separate the pairs where we've got two healthy ones, and spread them out along the line and try and fill some of the gaps in where they've been eaten, and see what I've got left with the space. I've got a bit fascinated by green manure, and it's interesting, isn't it? Because I planted that mustard at the top end as a cover crop, and that was mustard caliente. And it's grown really thick now. It's suddenly, we've had a lot of rain and it's lovely and sunny at the moment, but that mustard's come up really, really well, and it's absolutely what appears to have suppressed everything else on that bed, and that's the bed where these pumpkins are going into. So they're probably it's not going to be long before I get those pumpkins in, but we'll have a look at that mustard. It's come up brilliantly. Doing a bit of research around cover crops and green manure, I think I'm learning a bit more about that. Mustard caliente will improve the soil structure, but it's doing nothing for fixing nitrogen in the soil. So it'll add the mass, it'll add to the structure, but it's not fixing nitrogen. So I've picked up some other fast-growing annual cover crops, and I'm going to use this bed that I dug over last week to just experiment with. What am I using? Phacelia tanacetifolia. So we're going to give that a go, which is a beautiful flower as well. So I'm going to mix Phacelia with some white mustard and some crimson clover, and then put a little bit more of the caliente in. So you've got a mixture of nitrogen fixers and plants that will then draw that nitrogen and hold it for when it's then dug in. It's then available to subsequent plantings. But essentially this end I want to use for just experimenting. I've never grown Phacelia before. I haven't grown crimson clover before, so it'd just be interesting to see what it looks like as well. What else? I'm going to earth up the potatoes if I've got time. And a few weeks ago I cropped from different parts of the allotment where there were some leaves hanging over the pathways, some comfrey and nettle. Just got a trug full of it, and then I chopped it up at home and put it in a vessel. I can't remember the name of it, but it's a fermented vessel. I think Julia used it for making sauerkraut. But anyway, I stuffed it all in there with layers and mixed it up with brown sugar. Sounds a bit weird, doesn't it? And created a nettle and comfrey ferment, and that is like a plant food. So that's what came out of it. and I'm going to mix that, looking at what advice I can see on the internet. I'm going to mix that 1 to 500, and I've got a pump sprayer, so I'm just going to water all this foliage at this end as well, and while it's damp, mix that 1 to 500 in my sprayer and just go over the foliage just to introduce some nutrients to the foliage, and see how I get on with that. Bloody learning loads. So I think that's me. I'll flip this camera around. We'll have a walk up and down. I'll just show you what's coming up, and hopefully over the next few days we've got this nice weather and I can get most of what I've just said done. Good stuff. Right, we'll start from this top end under the trees. Bottom end, top end, don't really know. So these are the seedlings that I've got, and I counted the squashes and the pumpkins, and I've got about 20. A friend of mine's got a few as well that needs to go in, so I'm going to put them in at that top end where that mustard is, and those leeks there, hopefully I'm going to get those in today, tomorrow, but certainly this weekend. It's bank holiday weekend as well. This is where I'm going to experiment with that phacelia and that crimson clover and the white mustard and the caliante, just to give me an idea of what that looks like when it comes up. It's meant to come up very, very quickly as well. You can see the borage is flying up now. No sign of nasturtiums, I don't think, and the comfrey that I put the roots in, yeah, that's not done anything either. Like I say, I'm just going to wet these cabbages and these salad crops and this broccoli, and give that, use some of that ferment on it, and then let that just settle in. I don't want to do it towards the evening because I don't want to encourage it to sort of sit wet overnight. I don't think that would be terribly good for it. Broad beans are continuing to fly up. We'll give those a spray as well. Beetroot really looks to be settling in now. That looks fantastic. That rainbow chard looks brilliant as well. And I think most of the Brussels sprouts look good. Absolutely tons of rhubarb. Spoke to my neighbour at home, and I'm going to be doing a delivery for her because we just can't eat it all. I left this flower on, if you remember. So that is what a rhubarb flower looks like. I'll keep an eye on that. When it first comes out, it just comes out this very red colour, but I don't know what the final flower actually looks like. Birds are in fine fettle, fine song. The onions are looking great. Potatoes looking fantastic, but they're at that point where they do need earthing up now, all 5 rows of them. And if you remember, these are the extra earlies, these are the first earlies, and then these are the main crops. This is the caliante, the mustard caliante that I put in as a soil improver, which has created an absolute carpet. And then I think that's going to get chopped in. I'm probably going to use the lawnmower and use the mulcher on the lawnmower to dig that in, to chop it off and kill it, and then just dig it into that top layer. I might then do what I've done with the potatoes, which is go a bit dowding on it and use cardboard, and then compost on top of that, and then plant the squashes into the top of the compost on top of the cardboard, as a way of just trying to trap in and retain the nutrients from the mustard. This area here is where the leeks are going in. They're the sunflowers that will get split and spread out, pull a few of those weeds out, and then there's just the grass to be cut at this end. So quite a list of jobs, and if I keep talking into this camera, I'm not going to get any of them done, am I? So right, a beautiful day. Those trees are amazing. Cool, right, I'll give you an update later. Afternoon. It's what is it? 4:45. God, it's boiling. I can't complain. It's been pretty miserable the last few times I've been down here, so it's absolutely beautiful. I've separated them sunflowers, and I've got full rows of them, and cut the grass. I've just had a bit of a crack with that tilther, and it's all right. It's hard work, so I thought I might flip this camera around and for once show the fact that I actually do something down here instead of just talking into this camera and then showing you what I've been doing afterwards. So I'm going to give this a go. I've not done it before, so bear with me. Alright, we'll just have a wander up here. Blimey, it's absolutely beautiful. So this is the bit of land here, that bit there where I want to put those leeks in. My dad suggested I get some swede in as well, so I might try that. But yeah, I'll see if I can set this camera up and show you how this thing works. So this is the medieval looking murderous device, and it's a bit like a combined stirrup hoe with these tines that go round in front of it that then break up these larger clods. So yeah, let's have a look at that then. Well, that certainly works. It's hard work, but it definitely breaks the ground up, and it works a bit out of breath. So depending on which way the where you've got the handle, that hoe part of it at the bottom digs under, as you can see, and lifts the ground underneath it, and then the tines work their way through it. And that seemed to go really well until I hit that fence post. But yeah, no, fantastic. The other benefit to this is that because it's this kit, not easy one-handed, is you press this button here, this button, and then this thing's detachable at the end, so you can swap it over for other medieval torture devices for the garden. So yeah, brilliant stuff. Right. What I'm going to do now, I think, is have a sit down for a minute and then get on with getting some leeks in here. Alright, good stuff. Right, that's 100 leeks in. So I've used my dibber and I marked it around the end. It's about 6 inches. And then just poke these holes in the ground, and then I've separated these where are we? Separated these leeks into singles, and then just drop them into the hole, and there's just 10 rows of 10, and quite handy, it just comes right up to the edge of where the where the sunflowers are as well, so it sort of fits in. All I'm going to do now is I've got some of that nettle and comfrey fertiliser that I made in this thing. So this is just for spraying. So there's 5 litres of water in there and 10 ml of ferment. It's like a sugary, well, it will be, it's got loads of sugar in it, but it's like a sugary, woody smelling liquid fertiliser. So I'm just going to go around each one of these holes. I'll just give it a bit of a pump, and then I'm going to water these in, because this end to it means I can just poke it down the hole. You see that? And then just give it a quick squirt. I don't think you can see that. Let me try that again. So it can just actually go straight into the hole where the leek is and get the water in right at the bottom. The point of that is to get the roots on the bottom of the seedlings in contact with the earth at the bottom of the hole. And then yeah, we'll see how that works. But yeah, that's 100 leeks in. And here is the separated sunflowers. So we've got sunflowers, 4 rows, 4 different types, and there's one for each one of the spaces that I originally seeded. So I'm quite pleased with that. Right, that's me. Evening, 7 o'clock, Saturday 29th. Some very noisy songbirds. Cut the grass, that was good. Got that done. Had to play with that soil tiller, whatever it is. Leeks are in. Show you them in a second. Split the sunflowers, so shifted where there were 2s into 1s. So I've got a nice full rows. Not earthed up the potatoes. Maybe get that done tomorrow or Monday. And I've had to play with the comfrey and nettle ferment as well. So quite a nice day today. Really, really hot. Can't complain though. It's been lovely. This is brilliant. This is the soil tiller. I'm going to call it that, I think. But it acts. It's like it's a hoe with this wheel on it. So this breaks the soil up. This lifts, depending on what the pitch of it is. Angle of it lifts the soil, and this breaks it up. So that's fabulous. And then, because I've got this haft, you press this button, and then that comes out, and then you can swap out other tools, which is really handy, isn't it? So you don't need to have loads of these all over the place. You can just buy the ends for it. So yeah, good recommendation that. Probably going to get quite a lot of use out of it. Still want to play with that green manure mix, the nitrogen fixing as well as the soil conditioning stuff. So definitely going to do that over the next few days as well. So I'm off. I've finished. I'm a bit warm. We'll have a quick tour up the plot and just have a look what's coming through and what I've done today. And then that's me. Cheers. Listen to this noise, it sounds fantastic, doesn't it? Right, let's have a wander up and down. Like I say, it's been an absolutely beautiful day. That's my grass cuttings and some tops off the rhubarbs and some bits and bobs. Gonna mix that in with that maybe tomorrow, don't know, might do it Monday. That's my borage coming through with a vengeance. Keep finding it where it's self-seeded up the other end, so I keep pulling it out and then bringing it down here and replanting it, so more and more in there. That's the parsley. parsnip. Yeah, parsnip. That's the parsnip flowering. Looks like cow parsley, doesn't it? I think that's why I got the name confused. But yeah, looks like the stuff you see on the roadside with the white flowers on it. Same sort of structure. I noticed as well behind it, I've got some spinach that had been left in as well, so I'm going to let that go to flower as well. See what that looks like when it flowers. Red cabbage. I've given those a foliage nutrient spray using that 1 to 500 mix of that fermented comfrey and nettle mix. Check me out. Sounds like I know what I'm talking about. Lettuces are coming on fabulously. That Lola Rossa, you can hardly see it, can you? It's such a deep red colour. And that's Little Gem next to it. Some spinach. I'm going to weed that probably tomorrow. That spinach and that garlic. And then further on we've got that broccoli. Broad beans. Giving those a very quick hoe today. Had some rhubarb off for my neighbour at home. Beetroot looking fantastic. A few more of these have come through as well. These asparagus. So I'm just letting them all go to ferns. Is that what you call them? Ferns? Don't know. Onions looking great. Didn't earth up the potatoes, but I could do that tomorrow. They're looking very healthy. This mustard cover crop is fabulous. Oh, I can smell the barbecue. Like I said earlier, I'm probably going to knock that down with the lawnmower with the mulcher on it and then dig it in. These are the sunflowers that I've separated, and then next to them is where the leeks are in. Videoed myself earlier trying to show how I was getting on with that soil tiller, but I don't know what that video looks like. It's the first time I've tried it, so you may or may not have seen that. And then these echiums, all looking a bit bloody fabulous as well. Got most of the grass cut. Just need to finish some bits and bobs off. But no, really happy today. It's been really happy with progress. It's been lovely. And I'm now going to go home and get some dinner. Fantastic. Right, catch you soon.